there's a couple of people. I'm just going to go ahead and mute them for us. Okay, is that better?
That sounds better.
Yes, okay. All right. So if you'd like to go ahead and get started, Danielle.
All right. Well, hey, everyone. Hope everybody is definitely managing through this process. For some of you that do know me, I do have a business with 10 other employees. So, from my perspective, it's how do I get everybody back? How do I keep everybody safe? And then kind of, navigate during this time of, a lot of uncertainty. We don't know if we're going to get clients, not get clients, are people going to be regular? Are people going to be scared? We just don't really know. Um, so, the biggest thing where I've been talking to Gail about this for a while now, is just really kind of getting our new standards in place. What is that going to look like when we open? What are the new sanitation procedures? I've been on a lot of calls with massage therapy, with aesthetics, with nails, and just trying to see, what is everybody else kind of coming up with to really help protect themselves, their staff, and the guests that are coming into their places of business. So obviously, there's a lot of things that the manufacturers are coming out with training out there. So if you even go to universal spa companies, they've got training on their website. If you're a part of the Association of Skincare Professionals, they have a lot of training out there too, just to help you kind of understand more about sanitation and taking it to the next level, from where we learned when we were in school and what we had to, know for state board, passing our boards and all that kind of stuff. So, um, big thing too is, really thinking about every time we touch something, think of that glitter that possibly is being spread. So always trying to make sure that we're teaching our employees how to um, sanitize and how to really think about, everything you touch can be contaminated. So we're all starting back first thing tomorrow morning. This whole week has been about getting out their reinstatement letters and getting them rehired and all of that stuff. So unfortunately, that's taken a lot of my time this week. Be nice if it just be an easy, smooth process, but it's unfortunately it's not. But we got all that together. So we're all starting tomorrow. Of course, obviously, we're not opening for clients yet. So for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be training. We're going to be setting up the spa with the new way of doing everything. Every room will have certain sanitation items, and we'll be doing different things like UVC lights to help with sanitation too in between clients. We'll be setting up new procedures because clients will not be changing into robes. So all of this has to be trained so that it's almost a seamless process when we do open, so that there couldn't be a situation where somebody did get contaminated because we weren't prepared and ready. So that's where I'm kind of coming from right now, is just really working with the team to make sure that they feel comfortable as we open the doors. My big thing with everybody is, if you protect yourself, that means you're protecting your fellow workers, your family members, and others. Because if you are protecting you, then you're going to be doing the things that it takes not to get yourself sick, which again will also turn and help others not be sick too. So if we can definitely spread the word on that to people, I think a lot of people will think twice. I go out to these stores and, um, I had to go out to Lowe's and get things to make our guards at the wrap desk and all that kind of stuff. And of course, I've been trying to stay away from stores, but I walk in and there's like nobody with masks on, nobody with any protection. And that's not safe. So if we can definitely spread the word and help others realize how sanitation in this procedure of us starting to open up again, and other businesses being available, we definitely all need to be in this together. The other thing is, also setting up with your team the your PPE, your personal protection equipment, making sure there's masks, making sure there's gloves, sanitizer. You can make your own sanitizer also, if you can't find it out there, because it's been hard for me finding the 70%. If anybody knows of a good vendor, let me know. I luckily have enough to get the doors open, but within probably the next 30 days, I'm going to need to be purchasing more. And that's the other thing too, is set out now, because we've got about 2 weeks. If you need equipment for your spa or room or whatever, make sure you're starting to get those items now and being prepared. because it does take, there's a lot of lead times on these. I ordered a thermometer and it's taken almost 6 weeks to get here. So think about those things. It's not as readily available as it has been in the past for us. And of course, prices have definitely gone up extremely since then. A lot of spas I've seen out there are actually putting a sanitation fee, charging clients a little extra instead of raising the prices, just doing a sanitation fee during this time, since they will be doing, providing masks for clients, providing gloves, providing sanitizer. Like we also are, invested in a thermometer. We've invested in the UV lights. We also have an air purifier in the spa. So all these things obviously added up, to an extra cost. So some people are starting to do that. And then also, you want to sit down with your employees too and talk to them about, making sure they are using that protection gear and how important it is, and actually having them sign a form saying that they will adhere to those procedures. Because we have to have everybody on board. If people are not doing it, it can create problems in the future. One thing that, is a little bit kind of worrisome going into this process too is, what are we doing outside of work? Because what everybody's doing can affect the team. Because if one person gets sick, the CDC could come in and say, we have to shut you down. So we all have to be very good about when we are going out. It's not just while we're at the spa, it's also outside of the spa too, that we all have to really kind of rely on each other to make sure that we're all being safe outside the spa so that we're not bringing it into the spa either. So that's going to be a huge commitment on your employees' parts, to do that too. And then also the clients, what are the clients doing outside? Are they protecting themselves too? Some places are saying, if you've traveled, if you have a temperature upon coming in, things like that, they will not see them as a client for that day. So those are some things that are out there too. Some people are doing waivers. Definitely, if you're going to do a waiver, get with your lawyers on that to make sure that you do have that worded properly. And then, make sure that, you have things posted throughout your location about sanitation, making sure clients know how to use. We've gone to everything is going to be touchless in the spa. So the soap dispensers, the hand sanitizer dispensers, all will be touchless. I will tell you this, though, much touchless dispensers are taking about 30 to 40 days to arrive. So if you do need those, go ahead and get on those today. And then, definitely lots of communication out to your guests too. Let them know that, hey, these are the things that we're doing. These are expectations of you coming in. We're going to expect you to wear a mask, gloves, sanitizer, things like that, just so that they know. And I think everyone's going to be more compliant going forward, because there's still going to be some people that are going to be, very cautious about it. Some people are not, but, we just have to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that they're doing what they need to do so that we aren't spreading this in any way, shape, or form. But that's obviously, some of the things that I've done to get things rolling and get everybody, back into place. Does anybody have any questions or any specifics they want to know about that I haven't covered?
My name is Juliana. I do have a question that I was wondering. I'm an esthetician, and in regards to, I was going to say, obviously hair, nails, probably even massage in certain positions, a person could wear a mask. And my big concern is that our clients can't wear masks. Do you have any input on that?
Yeah, so that's going to be the next step that we're going to have to probably get with the governor. And I'm waiting kind of on that. Obviously, we can do waxing at this point. We can do lashes, for estheticians. We can do like a chemical peel around a mask. Facial is going to be more challenging. And maybe it's a portion where we wear the mask during a portion of it, and then maybe just during certain parts we don't. That's also going to be based on what our state board comes up with and what the governor says too. So yeah, there is a challenge. I do know from talking with some med spa owners, they were kind of saying that their boards were coming back and saying if they can't wear a mask during the procedure, that procedure can't be done. So that was going to change like their landscape of what they can and can't do. So yes, that is, we're probably going to be facing some things we may not be able to do in phase 2, possibly even in phase 3. And then possibly by phase 4, we would be able to do it.
I have a question.
Yes.
I work in a med spa. They are leaving me until our license opens up. They're not requesting that I come in for anything, which makes sense. So I read the Barbicide discussion. It's something that our website, our state board sends us to Barbicide, and it said dump out your wax pot and refill it. That doesn't make sense to me because it's been sitting for 2 months and I use Nufree. I am going to do it anyway. I'm just wondering if everybody's going to dump their wax pot. And my other question is about face shields. Have you considered purchasing them for as we start to open up into phase 3 and begin to relax? The virus is still going to be there. We still need to protect ourselves. I was actually thinking about buying a couple of face shields and then have one already clean, and then if I need to, just keep switching them out all day long. That's my question.
Yes, and the face shields are a wonderful thing to have too, and you can actually give them to clients. So even like somebody getting a pedicure, you could give them to a client also, because they do say it can get into your eyes. So if you don't wear like any
Right.
type of glasses or anything like that, a face shield is a great place to start with that. Absolutely. I had not heard about the wax pots. And
It was a
were they basically
suggestion
saying,
on the Barbicide website.
Yeah, well, that makes sense if you're, because you're not using a new wooden spoon or spatula every time. Some people are not, but you really should be putting a clean spatula back in. If you're dipping into a wax pot, you should never double dip. You should never put another one in. So maybe just kind of reminding people to get rid of the old wax, start fresh, keep everything super clean, be super vigilant, that kind of thing.
I'm sorry, but I was reading the aesthetic threads, and a lot of women that have started already in different states, they were complaining about the face shields because when they were doing facials, now they're doing facials and they're wearing a mask and eye protective glasses instead of the face shields, because they said when they lean down trying to do the facial, and the clients are not wearing masks in different states, the esthetician is wearing masks and glasses, but they're doing facials like that. But they said the face shield every time they lean down to do the face shield messes up. So glasses probably is the better.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Cecilia. They have goggles, things like that out there too to help with that. Yes, there are some challenges even with the masks, depending on which ones you get as you're moving up and down. They can kind of get out of place, which can get annoying at times too. That's why too. Now, for some of you guys, we did get the PPP loan. So we have to go back. I mean, we don't have to necessarily, but I am going to utilize this time over the next 2 weeks before we do open to do the training and get the spa ready. And I think when it's also collaborative, I think people are going to be more willing to also jump in and do the right thing, since they know it, instead of coming in the first day and say, okay, this is how we're doing it now. They're actually going to be a part of this process. And I feel like that's going to be a little bit better for us moving forward as a team. So that's why I've decided to do it that way. I mean, yeah, they could stay home and not get paid, but we've all stayed home. We've all been quarantined. We'll all be wearing our PPE while we're there to get used to it before the clients come. And so that way we'll, have a little jump start before the doors open, because it's going to be a lot of shuffling and new things going on for teams when they do actually open.
No, I think that's an excellent point, that this is going to take us a lot longer than we thought, to prepare all of this. You listed a lot of different things that we need to think about and to prepare. And I thought it was excellent of you to, to utilize the money that you got back to bring your staff back. I thought that was so honorable that, you know, you have a plan, you really want to educate. I think there's going to be a huge educational curve, like you said, you know, not just for our staff, but also for our clients. And it's that constant communication is going to be so important, and it's going to be key. And you have to prepare for that. And you should have all of this in writing too. And I know, Danielle, you probably already do. You're talking
Yes.
waivers and everything else. So, and I've got some examples later when we finish discussing to show you some of the things that I've, some of the email blasts that I've seen from a couple of other spas, and a med spa in particular that did a great job on laying it out to clients. But it's so important to have that communication, because you don't want people just coming in and then getting upset with you because, you know, they don't agree with the rules. There's going to be people that agree and not agree, but this is your policy. This is what you're laying out, and this is how things are when they come to see you. And that's also going to be a huge differentiating factor when it comes to how successful you are and what type of clients you're going to be attracting, because people are still scared. They want to feel reassurance. And just assuming that you're doing these things is not enough. We have to explain every step of the way. So Danielle, you've done a fantastic job on, you're very methodical and detail oriented, and you've really planned out a great play for your spa. And I know you said you had to run today. You only had 15 minutes, so I understand. We actually can't see your face. I see a nice picture in the background. Oh. There she is.
Doing it on my phone, I can't hear, so that's why I've got it up.
Oh, so part of it's to your ear, then right.
Yeah. Lovely technology this morning was not wanting to work, and the computers are still not up yet. I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, a little stressful. Well, I appreciate you taking time out. Do you have time to stay this morning, or do you have to run?
Yeah, I mean, if there's any more questions or anything.
I have another question.
Sure.
How are you handling linen, hot towels for faces?
So there's been some controversy about the hot towels. The thing about hot towels is that, you know, the virus does not last in heat. It breaks it down. So I don't see why there's technically an issue with it. But again, that's going to be according to our state board, what they feel that we need to do. You know, of course, with ours, as soon as we put it on the client, we take it off the way we were taught in school. So we're not even touching it and then putting it straight into the bin. But again, that's all going to be based on what the state board decides that we can and can't do with the hot towels as far as that goes. But personally, I don't feel like that's an issue. The other thing about masks we were talking about earlier too is upon arrival, clients should have them on, or they should be given one. You know, and then we'll just have to find out what state board allows us to do as far as in the treatment. I think for a short period of time though, in a facial, if we did just remove it, and if we're the ones removing it, because we know that our hands are sanitary based with gloves, hand sanitizer, I think we can maneuver things, but it's all, again, going to be on what state board decides for us to do. And of course, that's, again, we're going to have another learning curve there too.
Another thing I was listening to with the threads is that a lot of people are not going to use steam with facials. They're just going to use hot towels because the steam will like get everything moving in the room. And so the hot towel, you know, people are just buying another cabbie and just keeping it, you know, closer to them for hot towels.
That's a great point, Cecilia. Absolutely.
So I had some concerns that maybe you hadn't addressed yet. A lot of what you've talked about is what your staff is going to be doing. One of the things that I've seen a lot about is having clients remove shoes, having clients not bring anything in other than like their keys and a wallet, no like extraneous stuff, and having clients remain in the car until it's their turn, and not having people sitting in the waiting area, things of that nature. And then for us also, more disposables, such as disposable sheets, disposable robes, no blankets on treatment beds and things like that.
Great. Yes, those are all great things, Michelle. And we're, yeah, definitely doing that. Now we're going to use sheets. We're just not going to use blankets. We've
Right.
got
Okay.
plastic coverings for our tables so that they're not even actually on the, you know, because we're gonna put some niceties underneath the plastic so that they're not just on a straight massage table. So we'll have the plastic there. We're gonna have a, you know, different procedure. Everything's gonna go in baskets and not be touched unless you have gloves on. When the clients come in, they're going to put things into a basket. There will be no more locker rooms. There'll be no more changing. We're going to take out any cloth material items in the spa. There's no, there'll be one pen that will sanitize in front of the client and give it to them. There'll be the face shields, you know, the ones at the wrap desk. Definitely. The shoe thing, yes, we could change shoes and put slippers on them when they come in. That's something that you can do. But yeah, I mean, this is a great time to be kind of creative in some senses too, and just really think outside the box. And these are great things that, you know, everybody could kind of write down, and we could, you know, Gail and I could even compile a list together of ideas of, you know, what we can do to really just go above and beyond for sanitation. Because like I said, it takes that one person to get sick and they could come in and shut us down. So we definitely don't want to have that happen. You can go into having disposable sheets and all that. And that's where a lot of these places are coming in and saying, hey, we're going to do a sanitation fee during this, just because, you know, that is going to be more of a cost to your cost of goods sold, you know. So you've got to stay profitable in all of this too, to keep your doors open. So, but those are all great points.
Danielle, could you elaborate on the waiver forms, please?
In what way, hon?
What exactly, like you said, you need to make them sign before, after the service. When is it done? You sign and waiver. When do you do that?
We're actually going to send an email out to all of our guests. When we make their appointments, we'll let them know that we're going to be sending them some information about what our expectations are of them when they arrive at the spa, so they know, so they don't come in, like Gail was saying earlier, and be shocked by, oh, well, you didn't tell me I had to wait in the car, or you didn't tell me this or that. So we're going to, you know, have all those procedures laid out to them as what our expectations are. And then they, you know, would respond back to us saying, yes, we got the message, I agree. And then when they come in, they will actually, you know, fill out some information that, you know, so we do have it that they understand that we are trying to protect them and protect our staff too.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And everyone's going to be different based on your location, you know, as far as what your expectations are. But I think if we all can kind of get together too and like share ideas, I think we definitely could all kind of, you know, think about things that we hadn't thought about yet.
Danielle, you said about UV lights. What kind of UV lights are you using?
So I do have an ozone sanitizer, and then I do have UVC lights with ozone attached to them too. And what you do is you put them in the room after the clients have left. You have to wipe down your room though, and then you put them on for 20 minutes. They sanitize the room, and then you have to leave the room alone for about 40. So it's because the ozone can give people headaches, but that is supposed to sanitize the air and sanitize everything that's in the room. A lot of hospitals use it, and now they're starting to use these on airplanes. So I haven't received mine yet. I bought them almost 2 months ago now, but
I saw that on the news that they were using it in the hospitals. I just wondered how expensive are they?
There are some they're smaller, so they only cover a small area, but they're perfect for just a treatment room. So I purchased 4, and what we'll do is we'll rotate rooms while one's being sanitized, and we're going to obviously stagger when clients come in too, so that nobody's checking in and checking out at the same time, so clients won't see each other. And they're going to go straight back to the rooms. There'll be no more lounge, you know, no more relaxing. Of course, you guys have probably all heard that nobody's going to have refreshments out anymore. We'll be giving them a glass of water after their treatment. So yeah, so that's how we're going to do it. Like I said, I bought 4 because they're about 100 square feet is what they cover, which is usually around the treatment room size. And we'll just lay it on the bed. Once we strip everything off of it, we'll lay it on the table and let it, you know, do its thing. And then somebody will go into the next room and do their treatment in there, and then we'll come back and finish the sanitation process. Also, there'll be more time in between appointments for sanitation of the employee and then in sanitation of the treatment room.
And the UVC lights, there are a lot of different sizes and different price points. I've seen them for as low as 100 and up into the couple thousands.
Right.
Correct. And that's usually based on size.
Mhm.
So you just have to look at what size you want it to do, you know. You could probably, if like, let's say you had a 400 square foot, if you had like a little lobby and one treatment room, you could probably just get one and leave it on for a long period of time, like when you go out for a lunch break and then come back, leave it on during the night, come back, you know, things like that.
And then just, I was just trying to answer any of the questions in the chat as well. And Debbie Bundy was asking a little bit more about the robes, because you mentioned everything was disposable. So people are not wearing robes any longer, are using just disposable robes. Are you having them get into like the little, you know, the facial gowns so that you can work on their neck and chest still? Or how are you going about that when you're saying that they're not disrobing anymore?
Well, normally we have a client that will get into a robe, so they don't wear anything usually under the robes. So when they get under the tables, they don't have anything on anyways. Sometimes they'll put on sweatpants or things like that. So now they're just going into the treatment room. They'll have a basket to put all of their items in that's sanitizable, and they'll just get under the table like normal.
Okay.
But they're always under the covers, so.
Are you going to not do things like shoulder massage if they're not changing? Are you doing more like neck up?
Well, I think most of our guests will probably change, you know, get undressed and go under the sheets. I think, you know, that won't change. For me, I have a lot of menopausal women, so they don't even like the blanket on it anyways. You know, so they usually just use a sheet. But so I don't think that, you know, as long as we're allowed to, I will still do that. And I think a lot of our clients will still get under the sheet and still do it that way. But there may be some people who don't want to undress. We do have wax mats. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but Universal Spa Companies has some. They have them in 3 colors now, which is nice: black, cream, and blue. And you can put the mat down, and it's made of like a marine material. And they can lay on that, and then you can sanitize that. So I spray it with the citrus 2, let it set for 10 minutes, and then wipe it down. And so you can use those in between clients too. Or you could just get like plastic sheets like they do when you're doing like body treatments. You could just put that down also if you wanted to, and have them lay on top of that. You know, it's whatever you feel is appropriate for your space and what's going on with the treatment that you're doing. We obviously want to still create a sense of relaxation and a sense of calmness. So, I mean, I still, as long as we're allowed to, I still offer, you know, having them get underneath the sheets. We will have table warmers because, again, we're going to put plastic over them. We're going to put a plastic sheet around them, and then we're putting the fitted sheet over it. And then, of course, another sheet on top of that the client would be laying on. So, you know, so they'll still have some of those niceties. I think we still can, you know, do those as long as you're protecting your equipment also from not being able to be exposed from anything.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Does anyone else have any other questions, comments, addition to that? Do we still have Brooke on? Brooke from Lunasol Med Spa. I know she was at the vet, so she said she might have to take care of her dogs and then come back. And then Amy, I know you're with the Med Spa too. I'm not sure who else is with the Med Spa. I was just looking to see if there was anyone else with the Med Spa here, because I think, you know, what I've been seeing and hearing as well with the, you know, some of the med spas are already open and they're doing some services, but they're not doing facial services, obviously. But they started back with some injectables and that kind of thing. But they are stating in their emails that they can do any type of services as long as they keep their mask on. So I guess you're having to work around the masks for the time being. but I'm not sure quite how far that goes. I haven't really talked to some of the plastic surgeons. I know that they're starting to go back, but how far they're going with the mask thing yet.
Yeah, I think that will all be determined on what our state board says that we can and can't do when it all opens, and we'll just have to, work around that accordingly.
Right. So lots of brows, lots of eye treatments, things like that to start out off with anyway.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Danielle, I really appreciate you taking time out. I do have, and then Cecilia, you've done a lot of massage, so your focus has been massage. Was there anything else that you'd like to add in the massage realm, in that world?
When I start, what I have is I'll have like a disposable truck, so people can, as soon as they enter, I'm by myself, so I'm in my home. So basically they'll take off their shoes and put their purse. I have a little hook for their coat that can be sanitized. And so they take, shoes, purse, all that, and put it on their truck. I take their temperature. I did get a contactless thermometer, and they're about $50, and it did take a while to come in. And they'll wash their hands as soon as they come in. And then, I always have like a disposable cup of water for them, and they can go in the treatment room. Basically, they only really touch the chair that they sit in, that they change their clothes. And I do have like little wraps that they can wear, but it's only one person and it's only in that room, and I'm not in there while they change. And then they go over the sheet. I do not have a blanket anymore, because especially now that it's summer, it's nice that you don't have to worry about blankets. And then when they're done, basically all they really touch is the arm cradles for their arms and the face cradle. I did get disposable face cradles covers, so those can be switched out. And then after the treatment, they'll wash their hands again. If they check out on my iPad, on my Square, I sanitize it, and then after they touch it, I give them a thing of hand sanitizer before they leave the house. And I'm not scheduling. I'm leaving at least 40 minutes between clients so I can sanitize everything.
Yeah, that's great. Providing for that extra time too is going to be so important. And that's a very good point for us to think about, the amount of, like, as Danielle was stating, the extra expense, how are you going to handle that? And then the extra time too, because now you can do less people in a day.
Yeah.
So thinking about, is that going to affect our pricing? Has anybody thought about that? Are they raising their pricing, not raising the prices? What are you thinking about that?
Well, I think a lot of people maybe, they may have some of their own financial and budgetary concerns. So I don't think I'm going to do anything right away as far as price increase, and just kind of see how things go. And once things kind of pick up, then, reevaluate whether I need to do that or not.
Right. Yeah, good point. Yeah, those are some great ideas. And I really like the idea too about, taking, their shoes and keeping really minimal, don't have a lot of excess things that when you're coming into the spa. I think those are all great points, and to help prepare people afterwards, and having them wash their hands right away when they first come in, to sanitize their hands.
I do have masks available in case they do come in and they don't have a mask. And I am gonna just tell them that those are gonna be, I'll send them an email before, like Danielle, but they'll be $2, because it cost me, I got 50 masks for $25. So disposable ones. So.
Right. So you're allowing them to bring their own mask, or you provide one, but if you provide it, you charge for the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Any other?
I actually have a question about the state board. I keep hearing that they're going to come out with a new set of instructions, rules, regulations. Have they actually said that they're planning on, does anybody know? Are they actually planning on coming out with more information?
They are, and they're using guidance from the governor's office and other states, and we probably won't know until it gets much closer to opening. And there have been a lot of rumblings that we are actually not going to be opening in phase 2. We're probably more likely going to be phase 3. So I think a lot of people that think we're going to open in 2 weeks are going to be not real happy when they find out that doesn't happen. In my personal opinion, I would be shocked if we opened anytime before June 1st at this point, and I think it's probably going to be even later than that.
And Michelle, I agree with you. I mean, all I can do now is just plan just in case, because even like with this whole process of getting the PPP, they expect you to be right away, doing the payroll and everything. So it's like you got to turn on a dime. So we're anticipating and we are ready. But yes, I agree with you, Michelle. It's probably going to be a lot longer than we expect. And I'll be honest with you, we're not even opening full schedule when we do open. We're going to open 3 days a week. And slowly work from there. And we're not going to probably take new clients in the beginning either. And my personal thing is, my clients are family to me. They're not my friends, they're my family. And I want to take care of them, and I know they'll take care of us, but new people don't necessarily always have that same type of, and I want to make sure that we're doing what we can to be safe across the board, because we don't want to open and all of a sudden everybody's getting sick in all the spas and they shut us down permanently for a long period of time. So, we're definitely in an uncertain time right now to try to figure this out, do it slowly, do it right, and, do the best that we can.
No, I think that's very wise, and I think we're all kind of waiting, as we go, but to be prepared so that we can move forward is important too. But you're right, this isn't, and even if we start implementing, it'll be a slow start. So I think it's more important than ever to really rethink your business, think about how you can still stay engaged with your clients. And, obviously your retail sales are huge. Your self-care, that is our future. And that's, even when we get over this, that's not going away. That's going to be a big part of our industry, is providing self-care products for our clients. And we're seeing that even now, people are actually kind of liking it. I stopped by one of my salons to get some hair product, and it was kind of nice to actually just drive up. They come out to your car and hand you the product. It was just super convenient. So I could see if you're running around and you're busy with children and everything, I think it's going to be something that we keep, is that curbside pickup and the deliveries and all of that. So I think we can make up some of that income, at least for now, and then it's going to continue in the future. That's going to be part of our business. It's just going to look a little differently. There'll be a heavier concentration on at-home things that we can do, virtual consults and virtual care for our clients. Well, some great points. Excellent. I really appreciate you sharing, Danielle, and Cecilia sharing. Anyone else, and Michelle too? Anyone else have any questions, any thoughts? Anything that you're doing right now that you'd like to share?
I've spent a lot of time on various webinars, especially yours. I think I only missed one of yours. I think I missed last Monday. But I've been trying to just kind of, grab as much education as I can while we've had downtime. And I did the Milady online sanitation course. They normally charge $19.95 for it, but it's free at this time. And a lot of educators are discounting their programs. So I've been doing a lot of education, and I spent a lot of time reaching out to clients, just letting them know that we're thinking about them, and just, doing just a lot of reaching out that way, and just trying to stay positive, I guess. It's been really difficult, but I've been working on it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, and some great insight. Well, let me share my screen too. I know you all did a fantastic job and covered a lot of things that I had in my PowerPoint, but I also wanted to show you, if I can get out of my slideshow. This was a email blast. So I can pull this up. And this came from an account. They're not in North Carolina. When I go to Florida, I often go to this spa. They really do a fantastic job because they have everything. They've got the hair, so I go in and get my hair blown out and stuff when we're at our big meetings for image and all of that. And I've had facials there. So they do it all. But I know that I wanted just to show you an example of, we all know that it's going to take longer. It's going to take longer for clients to come in, and good points that you brought up, about sitting in your car and waiting and all of that. So the whole experience is taking longer, but I like how they pivoted this. So the name of the spa is Anushka. That's the name of the owner. And she capitalized on that with calling it the A Club. So instead of communicating information like, yeah, it's going to take longer, because in between clients, it's going to take longer for them to check in. It's going to take longer. But they sort of turned it around. And it was just the way that they said this. I thought it was really quite brilliant. She created the A Club. And now instead of having a longer experience, now you're having a private beauty experience at the Anushka Cosmeceutical Center. And it's limited availability. That means not everybody can jump in like it used to be. They used to take a lot of walk-ins. And now instead of saying we're not taking walk-ins anymore and no more new people, they're not saying that. It's how they're presenting it. So now she's turned it around into a very positive and exclusive thing, and saying we have this private beauty experience, we have limited availability, and entry, it's very private. The entry is very private to create a very safe environment. So it's how we word things as well. So I thought this was a brilliant opportunity to take this and turn it into something that's more personal and exclusive and customized. And I thought that was really cool, the way that they did that. And then it went on to say expectations. So when you come in, your temperature will be taken and will require you to sanitize your hands. So whether that's, taking them to the sink and having them wash their hands, or you're providing them with hand sanitizer, but they're sanitizing their hands. I know in this particular case, they're actually having them wash their hands. A mask will also be worn, will also be required during your visit. So they know that they can't just come in, because we all have seen people that don't go along with the rules. So it's telling them, you're going to be wearing a mask. It's required. It's mandatory. Please view our full protocols and COVID-19 screening form below. So they actually have a COVID-19 screening form. And then it goes on, the update from the doctor, hope you're doing well in these challenging times, all of that. And it goes on to their highest priority has remained health and safety of our patients and our team. We're proud to announce that Anushka will be reopening as a COVID protected facility. And I thought that was very interesting too. So they're taking a very clinical approach, a very official approach. What this means is, then I go on to explaining what is a COVID protected facility. All patients will be asked to complete a COVID-19 questionnaire upon their arrival. So you know you're going to have to take time to do that. Patients will also be screened upon arrival by taking their temperature and asked to wash their hands before services. All patients will be required to wear a mask, and all of our staff will be fully equipped with the appropriate protective gear. All staff will be screened upon arrival and their temperatures taken. So this isn't just for you. You know, we're doing this with our staff. We're being very careful. We're not going to allow just anybody to work on you. They're also going through this same procedure so that you feel safe. We're limiting the number of guests in our facility in order to maintain appropriate social distancing. So they know that it's going to be very limited. They don't have to worry so much either. All visits will be by appointment only. No walk-ins will be allowed at this time. We'll continue to sanitize our facility regularly throughout the day, including disinfecting all surfaces, equipment, and seating areas before and after each patient, and executing our deep cleaning protocol each night and more. So they're explaining the process. Even though you know you're going to do it, we don't assume it. We need to spell it out and tell people. Longer appointment times will be instituted to ensure less guests in the facility, because they have a huge facility, by the way. It's got a couple of levels. Less staff will be on the schedule. Only patients will be allowed in the facility. We will have a strict 48-hour cancellation policy due to our limited appointments. And I thought this was good too, because now you're taking even less clients. What happens when somebody cancels? Already you're probably getting half the money, right, that you're bringing in normally on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And now if somebody cancels, you're really going to be hurting. So taking their credit card up front, charging them for this service, 48-hour cancellation policy, figure out what that is. Maybe for you, it's only a fee, but it's at least something to cover the cost, but let them know. And sometimes you might want to waive it. That's going to be up to you. You figure out whatever your policy is, but something to reconsider. Your standard policy may need to change. We will be accepting Apple Pay for contactless checkout. Another thing to really consider, most people aren't even taking cash anymore. You know, because you can sterilize a credit card. You know, you can wipe that down. You can wipe your machines down, things like that. Your pens, you can't be handing a pen to the next person. They either have to be sanitized in front of the client each time, or you have to get pens and give them away, which could be a form of advertising too, if you're using your own pens. We will no longer be offering coffee or snacks at this time. So they know that they don't have all those, you know, nice things that they used to have anymore. We're looking forward to seeing you. Please continue to practice social distancing and stay safe. For appointments, please call. But then if you go down, where was it? I guess it didn't transfer. Part of it was they had a little questionnaire too. So I guess I missed that. I apologize. But at the same time, they already had a questionnaire made up prior to that that they could fill out online before they got there. And it was asking them all the COVID-19 questions. You know, how are you feeling today? Well, you know, that kind of thing. So it showed them what they can anticipate when they come. Every time they come in, just like a daycare or anything else, you're going to have to answer all these questions before you can enter. This was another one that was also from a med spa. This was in North Carolina. We're excited to announce phase 1 of our reopening Monday, May 11th. So today's our first day of opening. During phase 1, we'll be open with adjusted and limited treatments. We will offer services where both the patient and provider can wear masks. So they're limited to services that you have to wear a mask. So they're letting people know you've got to have, we're only doing services where you have to wear a mask. Once phase 2 is in effect, and that's to be announced, we will expand our services and our hours. The health and safety of our patients and staff is our #1 priority. We will be adhering to CDC guidelines, social distancing practices, and increasing our sanitation measures. What to expect: if you're not feeling well or have a fever, please wait until you are feeling better to schedule your appointment. We will not be accepting walk-ins at this time. Please call us to schedule an appointment. If you would like to purchase a product, we'll be offering curbside service only. Please arrange for pickup. Please let us know you have arrived for your appointment by texting, and we ask that you please wait in your car until your provider is ready for you. If you have family and friends, we ask that they wait in the car during the duration of your visit. So no more people waiting for you on the inside. Please arrive with your own mask. Our staff will be also wearing masks. We will also provide hand sanitizer upon entry. So just a couple of ideas to, reiterate some of the things that are happening and what's going on right now, and how some of these places are preparing for re-entry into the market. So any other questions on that? I think we covered a lot of these. Another point, I may go through this PowerPoint again, and as Danielle said, maybe I'll add to this some of the other additional things that that we can do. But I did want to remind you, because this is the last week, that I do have my challenge still. So everyone that has been on the meeting today, this is a raffle prize, and I've got 3 fantastic raffle prizes for when you go back to work and we can actually start working on clients. So I've got a full setup for back bar sizes for the signature facelift, and that's the grand prize. And then I have a second and third prize. The second prize is also signature facelift. It just doesn't have as many products. And then the third prize is facial products with back bar sizes of facial products as well. So if you've done any type of virtual consult, if you've been working in rehabbing your website, if you've gone to any of my training classes or any of my meetings in the month of April and May, then please shoot me an email. I'm just not going to take it for granted that you were on today and put your name in for you. You can enter as many times as you like. So if you've done all these things, just kind of take a screenshot or something and send it to me. Show me that you've done these things, and for everything that you've done, I will put a raffle ticket in for you. So I'm really excited to be able to offer this to you all. And so please make sure you email me. So just email me, let me know that you want to be part of the raffle, and I will put your name in the raffle ticket, or the raffle ticket in the jar. And next Monday on the 18th is when I'm going to do the drawing. So hopefully you'll join me next Monday, and we'll have the final drawing for this. But I appreciate all your input. Thank you so much for everyone's questions and taking time out to discuss this. I know that it's super important to our future. And if you have any other questions, please let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thanks for keeping your chin up and keep pushing forward. We'll get through this. But take care, everyone. Have a great week. Nice to see your faces. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail. Have a great week.
Thanks so much. You too.
Thank you, Gail. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gail.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Gail.
You're most welcome.